The first rays of artificial sunlight crept across the massive training ground of the Galactic Interspecies Military Academy. Lieutenant Elena Park stood motionless, her dark hair pulled back tightly, eyes scanning the unfamiliar environment. Hundreds of alien cadets watched her with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. She was the first human to enter this advanced military training program. Her body carried the genetic memory of Earth, a brutal planet that had forged humans into survivors unlike any other species in the known galaxy. Each step she took was calculated, each breath controlled. The Academy's primary training hall stretched like a massive metallic canyon. Holographic displays flickered with complex combat scenarios, while alien technology hummed with an almost musical precision. Junho Kim, a senior monitoring officer, watched her from a raised observation platform, his datapad recording every minute detail of her initial assessment. "Another Deathworlder," a Vortian cadet whispered to his companion, his insectoid mandibles clicking with barely concealed disgust. "They say humans come from a planet so dangerous that everything tries to kill them." Elena heard the comment. She didn't react. Years of military training had taught her that silence was often more powerful than words. Commander Ravi Patel approached, his multi-spectrum vision analyzing her physiology. Humans were still an enigma to most galactic species. Their ability to survive in extreme conditions seemed almost supernatural. Where other species required complex environmental suits and genetic modifications, humans adapted with nothing more than determination and biological resilience. "Cadet Park," he called out, his voice carrying across the training ground. "Standard entry protocols require a full medical scan and preliminary fitness assessment." Elena stepped forward. Her movement was fluid, almost predatory, a remnant of humanity's evolutionary history as hunters and survivors. The other cadets instinctively shifted, creating a small clearing around her. The medical scanning platform hummed to life. Most alien cadets required extensive preparations before such a scan. Their bodies were fragile, engineered for specific environments. Humans were different. They were born of a planet that punishment and survival were daily companions. Junho watched the scanner's readings with growing fascination. Her baseline physiological markers were already pushing beyond standard galactic norms. Heart rate steady, muscle response time incredible, cellular regeneration capabilities off the standard. "Charts. Interesting," he muttered, adjusting the scanner's sensitivity. The Vortian cadets continued their quiet commentary. To them, humans were still a mystery, a species that had seemingly appeared from nowhere, rapidly advancing through galactic politics and military ranks. Elena remained perfectly still. She knew what was happening around her. The whispers, the calculations, the subtle measurements. This was more than a physical assessment. This was first contact, not between individuals, but between evolutionary philosophies. Her mind drifted momentarily to the stories her grandmother had told her. Tales of Earth's harsh landscapes, of humans who survived Arctic winters, scorching deserts, dense rainforests, a planet that constantly tested its inhabitants, selecting only the most adaptable for survival. The scanner completed its initial pass. Commander Patel's eyebrows raised slightly, a micro-expression of surprise that did not go unnoticed by the experienced human cadet. "Preliminary scan complete," the computer announced in its neutral tone. "Subject, Elena Park. Species, human. Origin, Earth. Physiological status, exceptional." Around her, alien cadets exchanged glances. Exceptional was not a term used lightly in this academy. Junho smiled slightly. The first test was complete, but the real challenges were just beginning. Elena adjusted her standard-issue combat vest. Her eyes, calm and focused, surveyed the training ground. She was ready. The training simulation chamber flickered to life, its holographic walls transforming into a landscape of extreme environmental challenges. Most cadets began preparing their protective gear, complex suits designed to shield against radiation, temperature variations, and atmospheric pressures that would destroy unprepared biological systems. Elena Park stood differently. While others fumbled with multiple layers of protective equipment, she remained calm, wearing only her standard-issue combat uniform. Commander Ravi Patel approached her, his multiple eyes narrowing with a mix of curiosity and professional skepticism. Cadet Park, standard protocol requires full environmental protection suit. The upcoming simulation involves extreme radiation and gravitational stress levels that would incapacitate most known species. I understand, sir, Elena responded, her voice steady and confident. The other cadets stopped their preparations. Some laughed, some looked confused. A Krellin biochemist named Tara muttered something about human arrogance. Junho Kim, still monitoring, from the observation deck, leaned forward with intense interest. The simulation began. Instantly, the chamber transformed. Radiation levels spiked to amounts that would instantly sterilize most biological organisms. Gravitational forces fluctuated, creating pressure zones that could crush standard organic matter. Temperature variations jumped between -200 and +300 degrees in milliseconds. Where other cadets would have collapsed or required immediate medical intervention, Elena Park moved. Her body did something extraordinary. It began to adapt. Cellular structures shifted, blood chemistry adjusted, muscle tissues compressed and expanded with mechanical precision. The human body, product of millions of years of evolutionary survival, was responding to the challenge. Junho's datapad went crazy. Readings that should have been impossible were happening in real time. Elena's physiological markers were not just surviving, they were optimizing. The Krellin biochemist Tara couldn't believe her sensors. This is not possible, she whispered, checking and rechecking her equipment. Elena completed the first phase of the simulation. Where other cadets required weeks of recovery, she showed no signs of stress. Her breathing remained regular. Her muscle responses continued to be precise and controlled. Commander Patel watched in professional silence. Humans were still an unknown quantity in galactic military circles. Their rapid adaptation capabilities were legendary, but this was different. This was scientific proof. The second phase of the simulation began. Atmospheric composition changed. Pressure levels became erratic. Radiation patterns became more complex. It was a scenario designed to test the absolute limits of biological adaptation. Elena continued to move. Her body was doing something that defied standard scientific understanding. It wasn't just surviving. It was learning. Each environmental challenge was being processed, understood, and integrated into her physiological response system. Junho's voice broke the silence in the observation deck. Remarkable, he muttered. Absolutely remarkable. The simulation continued. Minutes passed, then hours. Conditions that would have killed most species became background noise for Elena Park. When the simulation finally ended, something unprecedented happened. While other cadets were being carefully removed and placed in recovery chambers, Elena Park simply walked out. No medical support. No emergency interventions. She was perfect. The chamber went silent. Alien cadets stared. Instructors checked and rechecked their data streams. Commander Patel approached her, his professional demeanor slightly shaken. Cadet Park, he said carefully, would you care to explain how you managed to complete the simulation without standard protective gear? Elena's response was simple and direct. I'm human, sir. Survival is what we do. Junho smiled. The galaxy was about to learn something important about humanity. They were not just another species. They were something entirely different. The first real test had been completed, and humanity had just redefined the meaning of adaptation. The training grounds transformed into a complex maze of challenges designed to push biological limits. Elena Park moved through the environment with a calm that unnerved her alien colleagues. Where other species saw obstacles, she saw opportunities. Temperature fluctuations became her playground. Toxic atmospheric conditions became mere breathing exercises. Gravitational stress that would crush standard organic matter became nothing more than a slight inconvenience. Junho Kim watched from the observation deck, his datapad recording every microscopic detail of her performance. The alien researchers around him began whispering. Something extraordinary was happening. A Krellin biochemist named Tara pulled up Elena's genetic scan. Her cellular structure was doing something impossible. Instead of resisting environmental challenges, her body was actively engaging with them. Each stress point became a learning opportunity. Each extreme condition became a chance for biological optimization. The training scenario escalated. Holographic threats appeared, simulated combat situations that combined environmental challenges with complex battle strategies. Most cadets would struggle with a single aspect. Elena integrated everything seamlessly. Commander Ravi Patel adjusted his monitoring equipment. Humans were always surprising, but this was beyond standard expectations. Elena wasn't just surviving. She was demonstrating a level of adaptive intelligence that challenged everything they knew about biological limitation. Toxic gas chambers that would disable most species became simple breathing exercises for her. Extreme cold that would freeze organic matter became a mild inconvenience. Radiation levels that would sterilize entire planetary populations became background noise. The alien cadets began to change their perception. What started as mockery transformed into something closer to scientific fascination. They watched as Elena moved through challenges that would have killed most species multiple times over. "How is this possible?" a young Vortian cadet whispered to his companion. Junho overheard the question. "Evolution," he responded simply. "Humans come from a planet that constantly tries to kill its inhabitants. Only the most adaptable survive." The cow. Simulation continued. Each challenge became more complex. Holographic enemies appeared. Environmental conditions became more extreme. Psychological stress factors were introduced to break standard biological responses. Elena remained calm. Her body wasn't just adapting. It was learning, processing, optimizing. Where other species saw limitations, she saw opportunities for improvement. The final stage of the training scenario approached. This was the point where most cadets would fail. A combination of environmental, psychological, and physical challenges designed to push biological systems beyond their breaking point. Commander Patel watched carefully. His professional exterior remained calm, but internal excitement was building. Humans were proving to be something entirely unexpected in the galactic military landscape. Elena's performance wasn't just exceptional, it was revolutionary. As the simulation reached its peak, something remarkable happened. While other cadets were being removed for medical intervention, Elena completed the entire scenario without a single sign of stress. The observation deck went silent. Tara's biochemical scans showed something unprecedented. Elena's cellular structure had not just survived the extreme conditions, it had actually improved. Each challenge had become a chance for biological enhancement. "Impossible," Tara muttered, checking her equipment. Junho smiled. "Welcome to humanity," he responded. When the simulation ended, Elena simply walked out. No medical support, no emergency interventions. Perfect, calm, controlled. The alien cadets stared in disbelief. Commander Patel approached her, his professional demeanor slightly shaken. "Impressive performance, Cadet Park," he said carefully. Elena's response was simple. "Just doing my job, sir." The galaxy was about to learn something important about humanity. They were not just another species. They were something entirely different. The final assessment loomed like a massive challenge designed to break every possible biological limitation. Only 5% of participants historically completed this mission. Elena Park stood ready, her presence calm against the complex, holographic landscape. Junho Kim watched from the observation deck, his heart racing with anticipation. This wasn't just another training simulation. This was the ultimate test of galactic military potential. The mission environment shifted rapidly. Extreme temperature zones appeared simultaneously. Toxic atmospheric conditions merged with high radiation landscapes. Gravitational fields twisted and transformed, creating impossible survival scenarios. Elena's body responded differently. Where, Other species would collapse. Her cellular structure began to adapt instantaneously. Her muscles adjusted. Her respiratory system recalibrated. Blood chemistry transformed with mechanical precision. Commander Ravi Patel monitored her progress, his multiple sensory organs detecting something extraordinary. Humans were proving to be more than just another galactic species. They were a biological marvel. The first phase challenged environmental survival. Radiation levels spiked to amounts that would instantly sterilize most organic matter. Elena moved forward. Her body processed the dangerous conditions like background noise. Alien cadets watched in disbelief. A Krellan biochemist named Tara couldn't believe her scanning equipment. Elena's genetic structure was doing something impossible. It wasn't just surviving. It was learning, improving, optimizing. Hours passed. Other participants began failing. Complex holographic enemies appeared, combining physical and psychological warfare techniques designed to break biological responses. Elena integrated each challenge seamlessly. Her mind remained focused. Years of human evolutionary history played out in her cellular memory. Earth, a planet that constantly tested its inhabitants. A world where only the most adaptable survived. The mission environment became increasingly complex. Gravitational stress increased. Atmospheric conditions became more dangerous. Holographic threats merged with real-time environmental challenges. Junho's datapad recorded unprecedented biological responses. Elena's body was transforming each challenge into an opportunity for improvement. Where standard species saw limitations, she saw potential. 5 hours into the mission, only 7 participants remained. Elena continued moving forward. No signs of stress, no indications of fatigue. Her breathing remained steady. Her muscle responses precise. Commander Patel watched with growing professional fascination. Humans were rewriting the understanding of biological adaptation. Each moment revealed something extraordinary about human potential. The final stage approached. A combination of environmental, psychological, and physical challenges that historically eliminated 99.9% of participants. Conditions that would crush standard organic matter. Elena's response was simple. She continued forward. Her body did something unprecedented. It wasn't just surviving the extreme conditions. It was optimizing, learning, transforming. Each challenge became an opportunity for biological enhancement. When the mission finally concluded, something remarkable happened. While other cadets required extensive medical recovery, Elena walked out perfectly normal. No intervention needed. No stress indicators. The observation deck went silent. Tara's biochemical scans showed cellular improvements that defied standard scientific understanding. Elena's genetic structure had not just survived. It had evolved during the mission. Impossible, Tara whispered. Yunyo smiled. Welcome to humanity, he responded. 5 participants completed the mission. Elena was the only human. Commander Patel approached her, professional respect evident in his posture. Exceptional performance, Cadet Park. Elena's response was simple and direct. Just doing my job, sir. The galaxy was about to learn something important. Humans were not just another species. They were something entirely different, a biological marvel, an evolutionary surprise. The critical mission had been completed, and humanity had just redefined the meaning of adaptation. Expectations had been shattered, and they were just getting started. The graduation ceremony filled the massive central hall of the Galactic Interspecies Military Academy. Thousands of alien species gathered, their collective attention focused on one individual, Elena Park. Director Yoon Seok stepped forward, his multi-spectrum eyes scanning the assembled crowd. The data from Elena's performance had already traveled across multiple planetary systems. Humanity was no longer an unknown quantity. Today, he announced, his voice carrying through advanced translation systems, we recognize something extraordinary. Junyo. Kim stood at the edge of the platform, his datapad still recording every moment. The scientific community had been buzzing with Elena's unprecedented performance. Her biological adaptation wasn't just impressive, it was revolutionary. The holographic displays behind Director Siak showed Elena's mission performance, cellular recordings, survival metrics, adaptation rates that defied standard scientific understanding. Each image told a story of human potential. Alien cadets who had once mocked her now looked with a mixture of respect and wonder. The Krellin biochemist Tara sat in the front row, her scientific curiosity completely transformed. Humans were no longer a footnote in galactic evolution. Commander Ravi Patel presented Elena with her advanced combat certification. But this was more than a simple ceremony. This was galactic recognition of human potential. Cadet Park represents more than individual achievement, Director Siak continued. She represents the potential of an entire species. Elena stood perfectly still. No excitement, no visible emotion, just pure, calculated professionalism. Her body, a testament to millions of years of evolutionary survival, remained calm. The scientific data spoke volumes. Where other species required extensive genetic modifications to survive extreme conditions, humans adapted naturally. Her performance wasn't just impressive, it was a biological marvel. Recordings of her mission played across massive holographic displays. Environmental challenges that would destroy standard organic matter became mere background noise for her. Radiation levels, gravitational stress, toxic atmospheres. Each challenge became an opportunity for improvement. Alien diplomats from multiple star systems watched carefully. Humanity was changing the understanding of biological potential. No longer would they be considered a young, inexperienced species. Junho noticed something subtle. The way alien species looked at Elena had changed. What started as curiosity had transformed into genuine respect. Humanity, Director Siak proclaimed, is now a recognized force in galactic military potential. The hall went silent. The implications were massive. Humans were not just another species to be catalogued. They were a biological marvel, an evolutionary surprise. Elena received her certification. No dramatic gestures, no emotional display. Just pure, calculated professionalism. Behind her, holographic displays continued showing her mission performance. Cellular adaptations, survival metrics, biological responses that defied standard scientific understanding. The Vordian cadets who once mocked her now watched with complete attention. The biochemists recorded every microscopic detail. The military strategists recalculated their entire understanding of biological adaptation. Junho smiled. The galaxy was about to change. As the ceremony concluded, alien representatives approached Elena, not with curiosity, not with mockery, but with genuine professional respect. "Congratulations, Cadet Park," Commander Patel said. "You have redefined our understanding of military potential." Elena's response was simple. "Just doing my job, sir." The hall erupted in a complex mixture of sounds, applause, scientific appreciation, professional respect. Humanity had just made its mark on the galactic stage. No longer an unknown quantity, no longer a young species.